Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. This is about alpha brainwave state and how nature is already wired to help you calm down and release stress. I've noticed many of you have been following the sound therapy videos on my channel, and I decided I was going to start to present much more information for you about this fascinating area. Now, in many people's lives, the sea plays an incredible role. And I know for some of you, you are already tuned in to the waves, and you may even have a relationship with the sea that you already acknowledge is really amazing. But today I want to prove to you that this very, very interesting sound that's happening through the rise and fall of the water crashing onto the beach is very, very powerful for you. In fact, our souls crave the ocean. Now, you'll notice there are many natural sounds that are actually already wired into the universe, and you're listening to them all day long. In fact, modern living has separated us a lot from this kind of sound and frequency and vibrational flow. But we need to tune in again and remember which are the ones that are really, really helpful to us. Now, the brain actually does something very interesting called entrain. The brain entrains. Remember, those two words rhyme, so you'll always remember it. And this is an amazing scientific phenomenon where, almost like a pendulum, the brain starts to swing against, but then finally in unison, together with the frequency of the waves naturally. And this is because we are actually wired to heal in sync with nature. And the ocean and the sea are two very, very powerful opportunities for us to do exactly that. Now, this entrainment acts like a kind of uh, regulator or radiator of calm and serenity because the frequency of the waves are between 7 to 10 hertz. Now, you'll be watching a lot more information coming to you on this channel about the true deepening aspects of sound and how they can shift your cellular memory, how they can cleanse your electromagnetic field. And in this case, the hertz really matters. So 7 to 10 hertz is quite low, and it's actually really what slows you down because this is what is characteristic of alpha brainwave frequency when you are actually slowing down. And the waves themselves are at this very interesting frequency, 7 to 10 hertz. And so it's obvious then that when we're tuning in, it's going to play on our unconscious mind and even on our conscious mind when we're tuning in more so that we actually start to entrain into 7 to 10 hertz. Now, ocean waves are also a kind of white noise. I know some of you might be at the beach speaking to friends, drinking a cocktail, reading a book, or maybe you're playing a game, and the sound of the waves is still operating at the back of your brain. And this is serving like a kind of white noise, but it's quite different to the white noise we might create with electronics or with something electrical, because, of course, white noise is really always going to shift the brain waves. But when it's natural, like the ocean or the sea, it can be a very, very powerful way for you to go into this kind of no mind state where the brain gets a chance to really empty out. There's also something significant about the rhythm, and you know I'm all about rhythm, so let me explain what I mean by this. The rhythm is actually quite predictive, and if you really tuned in and measured the waves, you would see that there are very specific intervals between the rise of the sound and the dive of the sound, and it's actually something we mimic or copy when we're drumming or playing, and there are in fact some beautiful rhythms created in Africa which have a kind of simulation of waves. I've always said the rise and the fall in the rhythm are replicating the sound of those ocean waves. In fact, it's kind of like a question and answer, some say. And if we are tuned in and we are loving that rhythm, we can see that the body is responding as well. In fact, it starts to suppress the distractions we have in our mind, which is beautiful because who doesn't want to suppress distraction in your mind? With the way the internet has totally groomed us into some very dodgy types of dopamine addiction, we have to find things that are going to distract us. So the sea, the ocean is a powerful one to use. It also improves sleep. And that's such a beautiful thing, isn't it? Because all of us can do with much, much better sleep. And we've also got a reduction in stress when we are exposed to the ocean for long enough. If you want to find out any of these insights, you can always go over to my Instagram page. You'll see I've done some very cool glyphs over there on different sound therapy things to tune into. I hope you enjoyed this video. I look forward to many more, and I'll be catching you again in the next one.